We have one more best day of the year left. Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and yesterday was part one of the best days of the year. Today marks the second day, and in this video, I'm going to be walking through what we witnessed yesterday with some pretty sizable upsets and then a lot of chalk elsewhere. My bracket is cooked like yours. Probably I'm in the 15th percentile, so it is darn well over. This video is going to be a little bit quicker today just because we are celebrating my daughter's birthday, so we are headed out to breakfast in about an hour. So cut down on the editing for this video. Just want to give you a quick wrap up of all of these games that we saw yesterday and what I think the ceiling of each of these teams are. So we'll start in order. We'll go in order of the games that we watched. I did watch at least a half of every game yesterday thanks to YouTube TV's multi-game split screen. Thank you. Shout out to my sister-in-law who pays the price and gives us her email. Until YouTube TV sponsors me, that is, then I'll just use my own account. Michigan State and Mississippi State played, and the bottom line from this game is, I guess, trust Izzo in March. And if Michigan State's going to make all their shots, they're not going to lose. They do play UConn, I believe, in the next round. No, they don't. They do not play UConn. My apologies. They play North Carolina in the next round. And Michigan State was just on fire this game. It was obviously first game on, so it was the first game I paid attention to. And it was like they would not miss. Everybody was hitting mid-range. They were hitting threes. They were hitting layups. So good for Michigan State. Again, Izzo in March is to be reckoned with. Duquesne and BYU was the next game, and I hate myself. I hate myself because I said, after watching Duquesne in their conference tournament, this team can play. And they upset VCU on their way to the title, and I said, whoever they get, they have a chance to beat. And then BYU came up, and I thought, this isn't a bad matchup. They could beat BYU. And then I listened to all the talking heads. Oh, BYU hits a ton of threes. Oh, BYU's played a tough schedule. Oh, BYU got soaked, okay? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. All right, 71-67. Duquesne comes away with the victory, and Duquesne will play, it looks like, Illinois in the next round. So we will see how that shapes out. Akron and Creighton played as well yesterday. Creighton, a big pick for a lot of people's brackets to make it deep, kind of a sleeper pick at a 3 seed. And it was a close first half, and then Creighton ran away in the second half, ended up winning by almost 20 points. Long Beach State and Arizona was a very similar game to the Akron-Creighton game, where it was a competitive first half, and then the second half, the favorite blew them away. Arizona looked pretty good, pretty cocky, pretty sure of themselves. So I am interested to see what happens when they play Dayton, who was battle tested yesterday, as we will discuss in just a little bit. Wagner in North Carolina, as you can see, some of these mid-afternoon games were not that competitive. Their size was just too much. They were just able to dominate in the post and get it done on the glass, both sides of the ball, 90-62. North Carolina was the highest scoring team yesterday, which, no, they weren't. Kansas scored 93. But you know about Carolina's defense, and people want to talk about Carolina's defense, and, can they score? They were playing Wagner, so obviously that's a benefit to being able to put points on the board, but they did score 90. Morehead State and Illinois was a close game as well. That little guy for Morehead State, Riley Minix, I believe, 27 points, 5 rebounds. He played pretty well for most of the game, but it wasn't enough at the end of the day to overcome Illinois' size and Illinois' playmakers. I mean, really, Terrence Shannon, what did he have yesterday? 26, and I want to say he had like 17 in the first half. So a team that, again, a lot of people are going to have making it pretty deep. I think, obviously, their matchup against Duquesne favors Illinois, and then they'll play the winner of Washington State, Iowa State. So we'll see how that turns out. But, again, Illinois is a team that, and they're a second-half team. Watching them all through the Big Ten tournament, every game in the first half was close, and they ran away in the second half. That was the case yesterday. Oregon and South Carolina. I am very concerned. I am incredibly concerned for Creighton. I don't know what the line is, what the betting line is right now, but Oregon, whatever it is, if it's above 200, it's value. I am truly concerned for Creighton, and I think Oregon, I think Oregon will beat Creighton on Saturday. They look phenomenal on both sides of the ball. They had a guy score 40 yesterday, Jermaine Cuisinart. That's not how you say his name, but that's what it looks like. And Nafali Dante. Again, probably not how you say his name, but two guys accounted for 63 of the 87 points. So maybe you could say their bench isn't that deep. So get into foul trouble against Creighton, have to defend the big guys that Creighton has. Maybe they have some trouble. But again, I think there is value on. I'm going to guess it's 6.5. I'll put it up here so you guys can see. I'm going to guess it's 6.5. But I do think Oregon is on upset alert in that one, and they should be. Sorry, Creighton is on upset alert to Oregon in that one. It's going to be what I believe a fantastic game. Nevada and Dayton. Let me tell you about Nevada and Dayton, because Nevada had full control of this game, and it was about dinner time. It was about the dinner break that the schedulers give us, and we ordered Chipotle, and I went and picked it up, and I came back, and when I walked into the living room, the score was somewhere between like 50 to 35. Okay. Nevada was winning. I said, perfect. This is the only game on right now. I'll sit down and eat my Chipotle, which I believe is the best high-end fast food restaurant on earth. And I ate Chipotle, and my phone buzzes. And one of my friends says, I thought Nevada had it. I was like, what do you mean? They're up 15 with like 8 minutes left. I go in, and the game is nearly tied. And Dayton ends up pulling it off. Awful offense in the second half of that game for Nevada. Not only the second half, but the final few plays. I mean, I watched the final 2 minutes, and they had no offensive rhythm. The wrong guys had the ball in their hands. Turnovers, horrible shot selections, just pathetic. So was Nevada the better team? They may have been, but Dayton got it done, and Dayton will play Arizona, and I am worried that they're not going to be able to put up the points they need to win that game. Texas and Colorado State. Sorry for just blasting your eardrums there. Texas and Colorado State was fine, very low scoring. Colorado State had 11 points at the half, which is absurd. So is that more about Texas' defense or Colorado State's lack of offense? I think it's more about Colorado State's lack of offense. They did end up scoring 33 in the second half, but not truly the most exciting game. Texas will get Tennessee next round, a battle of the Orange Bloods. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't really have a prediction, but Tennessee did look good. But again, is that because they were playing St. Peter's? I don't know. The game everybody wants to talk about and everybody knows about, Oakland and Kentucky. So yeah, I don't even have to say it. Jack Gulke scored 32 points, no assists, 2 rebounds, hit 10 threes, I believe, and tied the record for NCAA tournament threes. This is a guy who I found out afterwards has shot, I'll put the stat here because I'm not going to get it exactly right, but 335 shots this year, 327 have been threes. What? Okay, that is absurd. That's unheard of, okay? And he did yesterday. He shot threes. And people want to talk about Kentucky's defense, right? Like that was the big talking point coming into this tournament. Kentucky can't play defense, so they're not going to last. I don't even know if they played bad defense this game. Like watching it, their defense was fine, right? He was just literally coming off screens and hitting threes, fading away 3 feet behind the line. Like that's why they won the game, because of this Jack guy. And they were defending him pretty well. I will say, I know these are kids, man. I know at the end of the day, these are kids, but Reed Shepherd, he didn't have his best game. I won't be mean, but Reed Shepherd looked rough, okay? This was like the SEC freshman of the year maybe, or player of the year. I don't know what honors he got. I'll throw that on the screen. But at the end of the game, man, I mean, what was his stat line? It wasn't even respectable. 26 minutes, 3 points, 4 assists, no rebounds. He made some bad passes that the announcers were like grilling him for. And at the end of the game, what bothered me the most is he sits the bench for like the last 4 minutes, and he comes in with like a minute left, and they give him the ball, and they're down like 4, and he walks down the court and just shoots this off-balance, one-footed three-pointer. And I'm like, other people on your team have been putting the points on the board. You have not been. And you come in and you try to be the hero with the worst shot imaginable, and that's when I knew they were cooked. It was over. So Reed Shepherd did not play at the level he needed to. Other than that, though, I don't think Kentucky played a bad game. They just got to be victimized by this Jack kid. McNeese State and Gonzaga, what are people talking about? Oh, that's the 12 over the 5, 30 wins this season. They're pretty good. McNeese State, they've got some pretty good players. Boy, not even close. It wasn't close at all. From the tip, Gonzaga was up 10. Horrible game. They lost by 21. Awful. Awful, awful. I don't know why I listened to the talking heads saying, McNeese State, watch out for this team. Watch out for this team. Pathetic. San Diego State, Iowa State, kind of a similar game. San Diego State didn't really ever have a chance until like second half, like first 3 minutes, they went on a little bit of a run and cut it close, but then Iowa State turned around and went on the same run the other way. So that's probably the one game I didn't watch too much of. Iowa State looks strong, but I think San Diego State just looks weak. Tennessee, St. Peter's. Tennessee looked dominant, 83 points, only allowed 49 points, but St. Peter's wasn't the best in their conference. They got in on an automatic bid, and it is what it is. I think Tennessee could make a run, but I think this Texas matchup will be really, really entertaining on Saturday. NC State and Texas Tech. I was all over Texas Tech. Harder schedule, better offense, better defense, and then NC State wins by 13. Wins the ACC tournament, gets in, and just continues to do what they need to do. And next Saturday they play Oakland. So that's going to be a heck of a game, an 11 versus a 14. NC State versus Oakland. One that you should tune into. An 11 seed or a 14 seed is going to the Sweet 16 and will play Florida, Colorado, Marquette, Western Kentucky. So, March is fun. In that game, I don't know. I think I give the edge to NC State because they play more team ball, and I think they'll have a guy who can stick on that guy doesn't hit 10 threes. I don't know what Oakland has. So, okay. Drake and Washington State. Again, talking heads. Drake. Okay. And Washington State gets the job done. 66-61. I will say I did fall asleep at the end of that game. So my apologies. But Drake, another early exit from the tournament. A team that has made it a couple years in a row now and cannot win a game. Tucker DeVries is supposed to be their guy. 14.6 assists, 3 rebounds. Not the best. Washington State was pretty spread in terms of points, a couple guys in double digits. So Washington State gets Iowa State, and that is interesting. I think Washington State will be very motivated, and I think that will be a closer game than many expect. And the last game of the night was Samford and Kansas, and that was a blowout until it wasn't. I think at one point, maybe it was like 15 to 20 points, Samford was down. And I woke up today shocked to see that it was a 4-point game. And the way Samford plays with its in and out hockey style, just changing the lineup all the time, full court, fast pace, it's understandable that sets teams up to be able to stay in games all the time. But I don't know. I'm not worried about Kansas. I don't think Kansas will play Gonzaga next round. I'm worried about Kansas. I don't think Kansas is going to beat Gonzaga without McCullers Jr. So that was Thursday, guys. And the positive thing, the awesome thing is that I think today's better. I think Friday's slate is better. I think all of these games are going to be better, more competitive. So I'm excited. This is the best time of the year. I know my content has slowed down as we've gotten to this tournament because I got to thinking when I was a teacher, all right, when I was in school, this was a time that I could take a deep breath from my responsibilities, my job, and just enjoy the tournament. And it's weird now that I'm making content, trying to make content full time. It's like, wait a second, my busy times of the year are now the times that I would take a break and enjoy. And so I'm trying to give myself the ability to say, if you don't want to do a video, enjoy the games, because that's what you would have done, right? You don't take the magic out of this time of year trying to make content. But I did want to do a wrap-up, and I did want to kind of get my bearings on all these teams. So this was not a chore for me to do this video right here, but nonetheless, that is my mentality going into it. So if I disappear for a few days, it is because I am trying to just enjoy this tournament. But thank you guys for coming by, as always, and we'll see if I do a Friday wrap-up. I've got plans Saturday, so I may not be able to get to it, but that's what we got today, even in the bedhead, guys, okay? Even with the bedhead, that's how much I love you guys, and we'll see you soon. We'll be seeing you.